Hi, Assalamualaikum, and a very good day to all the panel. I would like to introduce myself first. So my name is Muhammad Shahib Benisa, and I'm from 4th BMMP 1/2 and supervised by technologist Dr. Hanizam bin Hashim. In this bachelor degree project of 2, the title is Design and Develop More for EMA Standard Test Method for Tension Testing of Metallic Material. I will start with introduction. What is a casting? A casting is when the molten metal is pouring or flow into the cavity and it will become solidified and form the shape depending the design of the pattern cavity. A casting has a two type, which is permanent mold. For example, it can use for high volume production and used for many times. And second is disposed mold. For example, sand casting, and it can be used for one time. So next is a material. By choosing the material is depending the composition, the mechanical properties, and the others criteria. For example, aluminum is select because the aluminum can be prevent to porosity, and the criteria is mechanical properties is ductility. So the mold material is a mild steel because um, the composition of mold is balanced. So the melting point for mold is 1400 degrees Celsius, while the aluminum uh, it can be semi-solid in 700 degrees Celsius, which is um, the curing process will not affect the mold. So the mold will no flaw or any defect during the casting process. Next is design. There has three different type of design with different system, different size, and different flow. So the objective is to design a permanent mold for aluminium according to the EMA standard method. The design is follow the ASTM association for the tensile testing. Second is to fabricate a selected design of steel permanent mold. There has three different type of design of mold and different criteria, different gating system, and different dimension of pattern. Third is to analyze the surface roughness of the sample between CNC method and casting, say, by using a t-test analysis. For problem statement is to analyze the effect of the surface roughness to the tensile testing a specimen using a surface roughness machine. And second is time taken as cost assumption to the process method between CNC lathe method and direct casting method. The third is improvement the gating system and system of runner depending the measurement or dimension of size specimen. Scope of project is to design a permanent mold according EMS standard testing method. The second is to improve the system gating, improve the design, and change the number of pattern. The third is selected the design based on the standard ASTM association. Next is selection material of mold and the product to fabricate a permanent mold, and then casting process, inspect the quality of product to the surface roughness testing, and finally is analysis the data between CNC lathe method and direct casting method. Okay, so here the gating system and permanent mold layout. So a runner position is between a gate and curing basin. Uh, the function of runner is to flow the material into the cavity. So the gating system is the position is between runner and the product. So it will allow the molten metal flow into the cavity and fulfill the pattern of cavity. So the pattern is a shape of product to be formed, and feeder is as we know as a riser, a space to a molten metal fulfill the shape, and it will prevent the shrinkage during the casting process. So in this page, it covers different of CNC and direct casting method. Uh, by CNC, it can produce a good surface because it generates automatic by machine with zero error, so it can achieve the precision. A CNC consists a few type of machining process because it start from casting, then remove the material using wire cut, and then CNC lathe to achieve the dimension based on the design. So for CNC, it's highly cost in fabrication because there has a few type machining process, and waste the time because it's time taken to finish the specimen testing is take a time, while the direct casting it can reduce the time and cost because the from the casting it can finishing process, then produce the product. Second is direct casting can produce more than one product because there has uh, three cavity that will improve the previous mold, and for the permanent mold it can use again for the mold for many time. In this page, it's covered puring and solidification phase. For puring is when a molten metal or aluminium in between obtainment temperature, which is increased until 700 degrees Celsius, and then the speed is important to constant the level of temperature. Higher puring will defect the part, which is a shrinkage and more warping. In solidification, there has a two type, which is nucleation and crystal formation. So the casting of process generally must has a quickly, and the structure of the grain must be fine. So the right side is a figure of phase puring process. In this page, they are show surface roughness setting measurement. The right side is a figure of measurement of surface roughness, and a t-test analysis is to compare two sample, and it can produce the probability distribution. So here is methodology. The first is design engineering. Design is produced by using a solid software, and there are three types of different design. So select the best one, and then a selection of the material of mold and the product. Next is a simulation of CAM. For application CAM is we are using the CATIA software to create or generate the NC code and get simulation for the process CNC milling. So next is we start to manufacturing process, and we are using the 3-axis conventional milling machine. The first process is squaring the stock to get a parallel between side and let it offset in dimension maximum 0.03 mm. To get again, the next process is surface grinding machine. A surface grinding is to get a flatness because the fit is smallest. It can be max for 0.03 mm. Surface grinding can be achieved the accuracy. Next is a 5-axis CNC milling, which is to fabricate the pattern of cavity to create the profile on the plate, and drill to get a hole for dowel pin for easily assemble again and it can achieve the parallel surface between cavity. So after that, casting process. Heat the mold until 200 degrees Celsius for the preheating, and then melt the aluminium until 700 degrees Celsius in condition semi-solid, and then start pouring the molten aluminum into the cavity. Okay, after finish casting process, remove the product from the pattern, and then start measure the sample by using a caliper to ensure the value of dimension is approached to the design. Next is measure the roughness by using surface roughness tester. So first thing is to calibrate the machine before make a testing, and then test the different type of sample, which is a CNC, a dog bone, and a casting dog bone. After that, analyze the data by using a t-test analysis. It generated by a miniature software. So first thing is fill all the data, and then select the start and two sample t-test. So the data will generate automatic by software. So here the result of this project is show the t-test is generated by a software. Okay, so for the result discussion, all the entire this project is achieve the improvement of design, which is increase the number of pattern to compare the previous mold. So the whole of dowel pin is sliding fit, and it will become easily for disassemble. So here is a previous mold which has a single cavity, and then this project is adding for 3 cavity during in one process casting. Okay, for the t-test analysis result, it show the p-value is 0.000, so it can be accept the prediction 95% to reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis. So to accept the prediction, it will be able to compare the data between a CNC and a casting, because CNC has a lowest number of mean to compare the casting method. In conclusion, the project is success to fabricate a permanent mold, but they have something to improve, which is a gating system to ensure the flow molten metal can be balanced during pouring flow into the cavity. Second is the project is achieved to produce the product of sample tension testing specimen, which is a dog bone. From the test analysis result, there has approved this project is approved to compare the surface of roughness between a CNC method and a casting method. So that's all from me. Thank you.